Welcome to another edition of the Late Night Talk Show. I'm your girl Leticia, aka Leglelicious.
And I'm your girl Miss Leesh.
And we are here with
Khareem. I was gonna they said I'm your girl. But I definitely ain't that, that's for sure.
And we're here with our boy. We're here with our man.
That's Khareem Jamal, yeah. Nice to be here again.
Excellent. Welcome back.
Sure.
So, Father, we thank you for bringing us here safely and securely. Father, we thank you. We ask you to cover us with your grace, your love, your honour. Help to keep us in respect for ourselves and the things that we do. Lord, the system is not right now. We ask you to guide these people that are in places of parliament across the world. We're seeing some atrocities in African countries right now, even in England. Yes, we are seeing stuff in England, but right now, Nigeria seems to be keeping up a lot right now. Father, we ask you to guide us as we go about our daily bread. Help us to keep us in employment so we can feed our family. Help to keep us in love within ourselves and also with those that we frequent with on a regular basis. Lord, we thank you for life. And we thank you for the Late Night Talk Show on Ontop FM every Wednesday from 10 till 12. And we ask you to enable our show to be wonderful, amazing, and educational to those that are tuning in. Amen.
Amen.
So, yes. So.
Yes. So.
It's
like,
yes.
Asking that question, do I sew or...
No. So basically, as you know, it was your birthday last week.
Yeah. And it's not... Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, as you saw last week, we do a birthday sing-song.
Here we go.
Yeah. So, we're going to sing happy birthday.
Oh, again?
Whose birthday is it?
You got to pay me
What
royalties.
do you mean? It was your brother's birthday. It was Fumi's birthday. Who else's birthday is it? That's two birthdays. That
It's
was on
like
Monday.
create some birthdays just to sing.
No. There's lots of people's birthdays, but definitely there was two people's birthdays, and then it was Fats's birthday. No, it was Fats's anniversary actually. Rest in peace, Anton. So let's sing happy birthday and we get carrying on. And last week you came up when we were singing happy birthday. You had a very harmonious voice.
Yes.
So I was thinking like you could do like a really nice rendition.
No. I haven't got my singing cap on today.
Oh.
I'm just joining in with you, but I'm going to let you guys lead because I don't know what you're going to sound like this week. It may not be consistent.
We say but that sounds as good as last week, yeah?
Well, yeah. I don't know about good, but...
Don't know about good. What are you trying to say?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so... Oh, sorry.
Let's see what you got.
Let's see what you got here now. Okay, so... Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray, it's your birthday. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray. Woo!
Yes.
You guys are very musical.
We are, we try to be.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yep.
This is important. Music is important, Music makes the world go round.
I want mic today.
Okay.
It's going to be my mic.
Well,
she's got jokes. So anyway, we're back here again with Khareem Jamal from the School of Africology.
Oh, well done.
I've been practicing.
Well, it's not even like Afro, it's Afri. So.
Africology.
But you nearly got there, so it's all right. So it's cool.
I got there better than last week, though, innit?
Much better.
Yeah. So, and you joined us last week where we were talking about basically the school everything, isn't it? Yeah. We went to a lot of different stuff, very informative, and it's just been a whirlwind since then. And Black History Month happens every year, but I feel like this year is so different from the other years. Does anyone else feel like that?
Yeah. Because of the whole Black Lives Matter stuff.
I think that like there's a shift in things,
paying
more attention, but like I'm always aware of a lot of things that's going on, but I've just seen a lot, and I think maybe because, it might be because actually a lot of things is online now, whereas before we would be going to places, but then
accessible.
It's more no, it just feels like there's a lot more Black History events going on, but then technically it's probably the same because it's just that.
No, I think there is more. Like Khareem said, I think it's because of the Black Lives Matter movement, white people's forcing more. Because I don't know if it's actually genuine, if I'll be honest.
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel like maybe they're forcing it through a little bit more to make it look like they are.
Yeah, I agree.
It. Yeah.
I just want to see how long they sustain it for. That's
exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
So see how long the momentum lasts for. It's already like quieting down over here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Black Lives Matter?
Well, all of it.
Yeah, everything, the whole experience.
You know what? Because I guess it also depends on what you've tuned into as well. Because you know, there's there's lots of conspiracies that have taken place which have become now actual facts. And
What is a conspiracy?
A conspiracy is where you think that you're not sure if this is actually what's going to happen, but you're thinking that people are conspiring towards this particular thing.
Well, conspiracy become like a dirty word. So all it is that you have a different idea towards what the popular narrative is. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean it's a lie or it's some wacky, idea. You know what I mean? But that's the kind of stigma attached to it. So when you say conspiracy, people think, oh yeah, some crackpots.
Yeah.
But all it is just mean that two or more people have a different idea to what the narrative is.
The population. Yeah. But that has been a lot though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There has been a lot of that, because if you think about it, that's a word.
If you think about it,
there's a lot of things that people are saying that's not going to happen, and it has happened. So, one of the things as well was that the whole George Floyd was another distraction for us to not see the other things that's going on. Yeah. Because I don't know if you saw recently with the medical officials have come out now and talking about, they're saying that, you know, the COVID is just the flu, and it's not any worse than anything else. And they're telling them, you know, they're putting what's the word? Not affidavit, but something along them lines on the government, because they're saying, you closed down the society and it wasn't necessary. And yes, they panicked, which is why they did it. But he's saying now there's no need for all of this lockdown that we have. There's no need for it.
The problem is with these devils, you can't really trust them, because you have to keep your eye on them. And what they say, you know, history's proven that what they say is not really what the truth is, what they mean.
No, definitely.
So you can't really trust them. And even with something as serious as what we're going through now, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, is this for real? Or is this what's the real agenda?
Yeah.
You know?
It's like a magic trick, isn't it? Like keep it focused here because we're doing something here.
But this is the thing. This is the thing.
Yeah, that's the word I wanted.
Because if you look at the economy and how the economy is changing quite a lot right now in terms of the money, cryptocurrency and all this kind of stuff, what is it that they're, you know, and short of going back to the whole conspiracy, you know, I'm not going to go into all that because that's not what I'm prepared for in my mind right now. But there's
a lot going on there, you're right.
There's a lot going on.
And a lot of these things are distractions to take your mind off.
This is it. Because even Nigeria, I'm like, what is happening in Nigeria? Is it a distraction to what? But prior to what's happened now, about a week ago or so, they were talking about the Nigerian government took money from Bill Gates to go over there and do the vaccinations as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So, and then now Nigeria's in uproar. People are protesting, and now the people anyway. But listen, short of saying that doesn't equate to what we're talking about. Everything has a little bit of everything makes up something, a connection. But that's not the connection that we're talking about today. We wanted to be talking more about, you know.
Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, we want you to educate us some more from what we were talking about last week, because I think it was quite juicy.
Juicy.
It was. I actually got the mic in her hand.
Yeah, I found the new mic.
Like it was, and I needed some more on that. So like I was even thinking about, because you know we talked about different cultures, and we're talking about the geography sides of stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about, you were fascinated by the geography and history, the connection between the two.
Yes, that's it.
And let's say the two things are
synonymous,
so they really go together. So yeah.
So I mean, like we didn't touch on like areas of like different countries like Egypt, Ethiopia, even though it was called something else at the time, and Egypt, both of them were called something else at the time, and things like that. So I was thinking maybe if you could give us some knowledge around those different parts of it, because I know Egypt was quite a sacred country, but also Ethiopia, because as we know, Ethiopia has a different time scale from us as well, in terms of they have a 13-year calendar. They're 12 or 14 years behind us in terms of their
I'm
years?
not sure, but basically we're using a Roman calendar, so it's Julian calendar. So first you have Gregorian and Julian, which are both Roman calendars, and they're the ones that predominate over the world as a whole. But other people have their own ideas of what is what, but we go with the Roman version.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that there aren't others with their own ideas of time.
Yeah.
But the one that's dominant is the Roman calendar. So that's what we use to measure time, these years, and so on. That's why, but it's not exact. That's why I have leap years.
Yeah.
Put it back on track, So.
But the leap year, we have leap year. They don't have leap year.
No.
And then we turn our clocks back and forward.
Yeah, well, that was coming from the Second World War to get more daylight hours for.
More daylight hours.
Yeah.
What one is that? Sorry, what one is that? Because it's facing the back of the bike.
I know, but the thing is gonna drop.
Oh.
If I move it, it's gonna fall.
Oh, it's not a very good view.
Sorry, before you interrupted.
I did say sorry for interrupting.
No, that's all right. I'm just saying so.
What was I saying?
You say about daylight saving hours.
Oh yeah, daylight saving hours. The Second World War. So that's what it's for. It's really to do with commerce. So you have more hours, business hours.
Yeah.
So.
And the light for the crops and stuff like that, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Saying that, the clocks do go back at the end of the month, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
That's next week.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. So,
in terms of Egypt, what part does Egypt have to play?
Oh, in what? Gosh, that's such like a what? You want to ask me about Egypt? You know what I mean? It's too many things.
No, like the significance of it in relation to.
Well, just in terms of our history, really, isn't it?
Wow. Well, I feel like Egypt's really overexposed in a way for me in terms of Black history. If you know what I mean. Whenever people talk about Black history, the first thing they go to is like Egypt. Tell me about the pharaohs and that kind of thing. So
was it Kemet? Called Kemet?
Kemet,
yeah.
Kemet. Also, it's called Tamari, or Tamari, which means Ta means land.
Oh Lord.
You okay? You got the jitters, right?
No, she's jumped.
No, because I was like, what's that?
This is like some air freshener. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, it is, but I'm not used to it. It's new, so it's just like I'm start choking.
Yeah. So in terms of Egypt, I mean Egypt, and don't forget that we talked about Ethiopia. Mentioned Ethiopia, which was more like a metaphor for anything black. So it's not like Ethiopia's borders you see today. The Greeks use Ethiopia to denote black people, if you like, Ethiopians. So it wouldn't be like people within a border or these borders that are Ethiopian nationality. It's more like things black.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
And then what, they just happened to congregate a lot of black people to that place and then named it Ethiopia?
Well, they call us Ethiopians. Ethiopians meaning black people.
Okay.
So they use that term commonly to differentiate between you and another group of people.
Do you know what's quite interesting about that? So in Ethiopia, obviously, there's a large population of Somali people. No?
Well, the neighbours. Ethiopia itself is when you talk about Ethiopia has 8 different tribes.
Okay, see, this is what we want. Education.
80.
I thought you said 8.
Oh, I thought you said 8.
I know.
No, 80.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're talking about if you're thinking about one homogenous group, then we're all ties to each other.
80 group. Okay.
As a single family, then that's not the case.
Okay. Yes.
So you've got 80 different family groups, and a lot of these groups you'll find relations in different countries across the borders, and like you say, Somalia,
if they're neighbours, then that makes
Kenya,
sense. Yeah.
Uganda, and so on. So you find,
Is Sudan close to Ethiopia? I really should do geography, shouldn't I?
Sudan is what we used to call Nubia. So Sudan is south of Ethiopia.
Sudan we used to call what?
Sudan
south
is
of Egypt,
as well,
next door to Ethiopia. Yeah.
And what was because they split a lot of them in two.
They have a lot of them. Sudan has been split now.
It has, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's geopolitical. So that's for oil and that kind of thing.
Yeah. But then also part of it was it looked Bright Life TV. Big yourself said talk about Sudan. What aspect of Sudan would you like him to talk about?
Sudan. Who's saying? Is that what you're talking about?
No, Sudan is in the country.
Oh, Sudan.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah. What about him?
That's what I'm asking him. He said talk about
Sudan. Is Nubia of old. Nubia, Kush. Yeah. Places like ancient cities like Meroe, Napata, all these are ancient places. In fact, you find more pyramids in Sudan than you find in Egypt.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
And the Nile, does the Nile run through there as well?
Yeah.
But one is at the top and one runs down to the bottom, innit? Because someone was telling me about it yesterday, and he was saying that basically
You got two Niles, blue and white. Yeah, one source of the blue Nile is in Ethiopia. The source of the white Nile is in Uganda.
but one runs down down into the other, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they join.
Like one's at the top.
Confluence where they join. Where there's a point they come together. Yeah, so they're coming from. They've got different sources, and then they join together. Yeah. But interestingly, if you're talking about, usually we talk north, you're talking up. Where the Nile runs down north and up south.
Got you. So it runs down and up.
So when you're talking about when you're going down, it's running down north
Yeah.
and up south. Think about that.
How does it run up?
That one's gone over my head.
It was all right. Go on. That's something you'd research for next time.
But they do say what goes up must come down.
Okay.
But if that's going down, so it must come up.
Never mind.
No.
Yeah, it's weird. 'Cause
It is weird.
But then is it just about in terms of the way that it flows?
Yes.
yeah, it flows up. How does it flow up?
Why are you looking at me? Asking me. She's looking at me, asking me. I'm not the teacher. I'm trying to learn like you.
Yeah. So Sudan, and you talk about Sudan, but as it was called in your days, Kush, Nubia, different names. And we're talking about countries now, but a lot of these places were city-states.
But I was going to say, because wasn't it all one big place? Like Africa was a big place. Wasn't it called Kush?
Well, it's still a big place.
No, but it was like, short of it having all the, was it 52?
Yeah. Now. Yeah.
But before that, it was one state, someone was
No,
saying
no,
to
no,
me.
no, no, no.
It was one big area landmass.
Well, it's still one big landmass. But
No,
it's not,
but...
when people talk about Africa, they talk about it like it's a country. There's so many different types of people in there. You got 200 languages in Nigeria alone.
200 languages?
Yeah, just in Nigeria. So, when you start talking about Africa,
What are you talking about? It's so wide. Like my cousin's done going to Africa. So I said, really? There's 52 countries in Africa.
Where's he going?
So she was like,
Sorry.
so why don't you just ask where I'm going instead of being sarcastic? I said, I did. 52 countries. So meaning which one are you going to? Like, you just said Africa.
Africa, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's no country called Africa. Literally. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
That's right. Absolutely. So where's she going?
Oh, now she ain't answered me. Oh, now she ain't said what country it is. So I'm just like, cool, whatever in it. But yeah.
Okay, so what amazing facts would you like to talk about today?
What amazing facts.
Yeah.
Well, someone's asked about Sudan, so let's see. What about Sudan?
Well,
because Sudan has got a lot of political. There's a lot of political, but not to say we talk about. Well, it's a black history, isn't it? So short of it, if we talk about derivatory or derivation, whatever that word there.
Derivation.
No, it's not that one. Where you derive from,
That's
where you
what I
come
meant.
from. What did you say?
Derivation.
No, I don't know it like that.
Well, sorry.
So you're saying I've been pronouncing it wrong?
Well, it depends on what context you're saying it in.
You see? Or even what language you're
You
speaking
say
it.
derive, derivation,
Yeah, you
or
see.
derivative. It depends on what you're saying.
Thesaurus. What was that? Synonym. Cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Not cinnamon, it's a spice.
The spice.
It's synonym.
No, synonym. SYNO something one.
Synonym.
You know what? How's the question, right?
Listen, did we tell you last week that I've got my own dictionary?
You have, and you're proving it this week.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because even though you don't necessarily, the word may not be the word, but the word still matches what it is that I'm saying. So you was right on target, and you was able to clarify.
That's why I'm smart.
You say because you're smart.
Yeah, but suppose you're not.
But a lot of people must be smart around me then because they know what I'm talking about.
Or they're pretending.
Well, that's their fault. You have to ask questions for learning our life.
Very true.
So what were you saying? You keep on taking me off track here.
Me? You?
Yeah.
So the significance of Sudan in Black history.
Oh gosh, because look, at one point you're looking at Egypt, you're looking at Sudan, what you call Sudan today, and the people are. There's not much difference between the people there.
Just look at
They're intermingled. So in fact, Egypt becomes Egypt when you see the actual crown of Egypt is two crowns together, upper and lower kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
what do you mean the two crowns?
Well, if you look at the pharaoh's crowns, it's actually a combination of two crowns. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to go on your phone and use your phone for some research. You look at them, you'll see the two of them. One's from the upper kingdom, one's from the lower kingdom.
Okay.
So this create the first dynasty of Egypt in 3200 BC. The first pharaoh would be Nama. The Greeks call Menes.
Not even heard of them ones.
Yeah, this is the beginning of things.
No, because that's what you were saying, isn't it? Because you said that there's more pyramids in Sudan than there is in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And I must admit, right? So we went to Egypt last year for a wedding. Big up yourself, Gemma and Peter, first year anniversary, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
But when we went to the pyramids, it was just like, oh, well, it wasn't like, is that it? But there was that
Really?
element. I didn't.
You weren't impressed?
No, I was, but I don't know. Maybe when I went inside, what I went inside, it wasn't really, yeah. But it was so.
Oh yeah, there's 2 parts of it.
And then, can I see? And then the other side of it was like the whole like we was in the area, and then we walked out of an area, and then there was Pizza Hut, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
oh,
Yeah.
you know, like it wasn't, you know, like you're looking,
Westernized.
yeah, it was just like, and then. Yeah, it was
I get
just,
it.
I don't know how to explain it, but don't get me wrong, it was a
You
wonderful
want
and
it to
amazing.
be magical and to be more uplifting and spiritual than what
And then
you
see
actually
Pizza Hut,
got
right?
out. Yeah,
I think,
and
yeah.
then to see Pizza Hut. Just
But
made
even
it
when we
seem
went
like it
inside the
was
building,
basic.
did you climb upstairs as well?
Yeah. I was
We
expecting
climbed
to
up
see
some
more.
long thing, yes, and it went small and small and small with steps. And then I'm like, well, hold on a minute. How did you get steps in this place in the first place? Because you tell me they built steps like this with all... And then, when we got up to the top, there was just nothing there. Just like a square box on the floor. And that was it. So I'm like, oh...
Yeah, it all depends on your expectations. What is it you really were expecting?
I don't know what I was expecting, you know, but maybe, you know, like...
You're going to see some mummies and some
Yeah, or
jewels
maybe,
and-
yeah, you know,
Mummies
like
are-
you see the tombs of
Mummies are
Tutankhamun
gone now. The
and...
British
They
Museum.
get their teeth them.
I know.
Everything's it's looted.
Yeah, but isn't there nothing there at all?
You take them. Oh,
But it just... Then we walked from that one, we went into that one, and the stones, the size of the stones is just magnificent. It was like... Yeah, well, maybe it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good, but I'm just saying, like, the stones alone and hearing the history of how did they get them stones, and even just to kind of understand how they built the pyramids, and it's still not even known how possible it was, because
That's true.
it's like, how did you get to create the stone? And those, everything's the same circumference, and they got it from one place to the other down the River Nile, is what the people then were saying in that. And it's just, that was kind of surreal as well.
Well, they actually tried to recreate what they believed was the way the ancient Egyptians, transported the stones hundreds of miles away down the Nile. Yeah, and they used what they believed to be what they call, primitive equipment that they believe Egyptians used. And everything they use, this is a Japanese experiment, by the way, in the 80s. Everything they used, everything they tried to replicate, failed. So, for instance, when they tried to transport the stones from up the Nile, the ships that they put them on, papyrus boats, sank.
Yeah, because it's too heavy.
Too heavy, yeah. Or even when they offloaded it from the ship onto the banks of the river, it sunk into the river, so the riverbed. So everything they tried, what they theorized that the Egyptians used in terms of technology, failed. So they had to resort to modern technology to even transport the stuff to the site.
The experiment you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they tried to replicate it, so they could say, we know how the Egyptians did this, but they don't, because everything they did was insufficient or was turned out to be unsatisfactory. Yeah.
So when you say the experiment was in Japan, you mean?
No, in Egypt. They replicate everything. So the replica, yeah?
Oh.
So they tried to, based on the theories that they have on how the Egyptians built pyramids, they tried to recreate that experiment.
Oh, but it didn't happen at all. No way, no shape or form. No. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to check. For a second, I was thinking, wait, are you telling me that them pyramids was not built by the Egyptians? No. But yeah, you mean after? Yeah, okay, for you.
And again, we talked about pyramids in Sudan. What the difference in the pyramids in Sudan and the ones in Egypt is that what you see in Sudan are prototypes. So you see the beginning of something.
Oh,
so you see where we're trying to evolve in the new technology. And these are what we start. So they're smaller, and you can see the shapes beginning to come.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to Egypt now, the technology is perfected.
Okay.
So when you see Great Pyramid and so on, this is the end of the process, not the beginning of it.
Yeah.
The beginning of the process in Sudan, where you see those smaller types and so on.
Okay. Can you go inside the ones in Sudan or no?
Yeah.
Hello.
You can. Oh.
Late night talk show.
A lot of people are not aware
Oh, okay.
that they exist there. You see?
Yeah.
I'm great.
So so it's interesting. So as you said before, and you said there are
Yes,
much
there are,
more
right.
pyramids in
Yes, we are.
Sudan. Than,
It's true because I only learned that when we went to Egypt. That there was more in Sudan.
Really?
I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah.
Do you want me to make it go?
What I find annoying is if you look at something like the History channels or National
I'm going to
Geographic,
put you live, yeah?
Yeah.
they show people who represent Egyptians today, which are nothing like the Egyptians of yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got
see?
you. Yeah.
And they talk about it as like it's their culture. You know, we built this. No, you didn't.
But you didn't. Yeah.
You got nothing to do with it. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
you guys are like, I liken to like hermit crabs who just move into an empty space
And then just claim
or
it.
take over something and claim this is our home.
Claim it theirs, yeah.
So I've got a caller. Caller, state your name and where you're calling from.
Hi guys, thank you for doing part 2.
Hi.
Blessings.
But you're still missing the if you don't know, now you know.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that soon. Don't worry.
So for you days on this station, no excuse. Please make sure you give these ladies some snippets, maybe even some EPMD, so what you're saying, so that they can have them between their conversations. Anyway, I'm calling you for your guest to explain to you about the Moors that reigned 800 years in Europe, and you see their irrigation, and you see their architecture if you travel.
Yeah.
And the next time, when you are looking across your box set and looking at things like Do the Right Thing, and you remember Spike Lee's character in the pizzeria trying to tell his Italian friend, have you ever wondered why your hair is kinky like that? Because geographically, look where Italy is in close proximity to Africa.
That's right. We talked about the Mediterranean last week.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Yeah.
I'm going to let him tell you about the Moors.
Thank you.
Yeah? and how we, coming from Caribbean or Caribbean mixed history, I want him to tell me why people don't think it's strange that when they go to the Caribbean and they see their parishes named very, names which are not synonymous with the island.
Yes, like Spanish countries as well. Like in
No. Okay.
No, we're in
You'll find
Jamaica.
Anywhere. So we can go from Jamaica, where we have Manchester, Westmoreland.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm referring to Jamaica. Yeah, go on.
But it's not just Jamaica. So you can go to island hops. You can go to another island. The parish will be called Saint this and Saint the following. And the thing is this, it never ever strikes people to say, but this doesn't even fit right with where this place is. What's the original names here?
I get what you mean.
What's happening here? One thing Jamaica has done, Jamaica has taken the University of West Indies, and there's a part in Jamaica which used to be given over for plantation. They've made that now. They've reclaimed that area and made it part of the faculty for the University of West Indies.
Yeah.
So there's more stuff that we need to do. And as you said, the following week when prime ministers are negotiating deals with other countries, we need to speak to our prime ministers. Why are you not negotiating deals in terms of building prisons?
Well, this is exercising democratic.
But I'm going to let you get on because as soon as I speak, somebody else gets the courage to phone in. So please phone in. This is very good. This is something that you need to be involved with. So support the show. I have no investment. I have no involvement with any of the people. I don't personally know them. But you can't just be watching Channel Zero and just getting crazy things from off your television, off this, of that. Phone in and take part in it so you can improve yourself and you can better assist your children. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, sis. Blessings. And you look like you need to come on the show yourself and do some talking. So yeah, hit us up, yeah, because it looks like we're gonna have to be getting you on here and doing some education as well. So over to you.
Well, she mentioned the Moors,
Yes.
which is good because, at that period, people must remember that Europe enters about a period called the Dark Ages because it's dark, and even if you can imagine, even the kings and queens are sleeping in what today we would consider to be barns. So it's very primitive. This is after the Romans have left Britain, left most of Europe, the decline of the Roman Empire, and this is what we call the Dark Ages. So, people didn't wash in Europe. People barely cook their food. They still don't. Yeah. And they still probably don't wash very much, But it's not even funny. You don't even think about it. These things only change when we start to come to these countries.
Well, that's why I'm laughing, because when COVID first come in, a lot of people was like, well, why are you telling us to wash our hands? We taught you how to bath. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not even like a demeaning comment.
No,
it's just a fact.
No, but it's a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact.
And so what we have is the Dark Age. So what we're looking at, the Moors come to Spain in the 8th century. Yeah, through a man named Jibral al-Tariq. which is where the name Gibraltar comes from.
Oh, okay.
So, and 711 AD, they got to Spain, obviously. Lots of the places in Spain you see today, the names Barcelona, Toledo, Valencia, Sevilla, all these places are Moorish, old Moorish towns, you see. And yeah, so what we have is a dark ages period in Britain where, Europe, where people don't read, people don't write. People are very much uncivilized. Some of the things we have today that the Moors brought with them, like the system of irrigation. Yeah, one thing, having fresh water.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And aqueducts. Even fruits that we use today, like citrus fruits, lemons, limes, oranges.
Yeah.
They didn't exist in Europe before. Until we got to Spain, perfume, soap. All these things, the idea of washing, because in later times where you have the Crusades, the Crusades in the 11th, 12th, 13th centuries, where you have Europeans going there to reclaim Jerusalem, they experience this thing, perfume, silks, all these type of things we don't have in Europe. They were in the equivalent of crocus bag on their back for months without taking it off, sackcloth, itchy things, they have that on for a long time. It's almost part of their skin because they don't wash, you see. So this collision of cultures where the Moors coming into Europe and bringing all of these things, books, mathematics, chess, drafts, all these things, all these ideas spread across Europe. The first university in Europe is in Spain, in Salamanca. A city called Salamanca, which is a Moorish city. Yeah. So before that, there's no centers of learning in Europe for the masses.
Okay.
The masses don't read. Only monks and and people of wealth read Latin and so on. I think, yeah. But generally, the mass of the people don't read.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're easy to control, very malleable, and you can make them do anything you want. You see? So yeah. So as far as the Europe, because the Moors are instrumental in bringing so much civilization to Europe. That's why you don't hear much about them so much either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not until 1492 when the last Moorish state falls in Spain, which is Granada.
Okay.
And this is where, and 1492 is a very pivotal year, because that's the year where Columbus goes to what they call the New World. But it's also the time where many, when the last Moors are expelled from Spain, 1492, okay? But not only Moors are expelled, also Sephardic Jews are expelled, and most of those Jews go to Holland, what we know as Holland today. And from there, they're able to set up or support the slave trade. From ports like Rotterdam and Amsterdam. This is where the Jewish merchants that went from Spain to Holland go. And from there, they are very instrumental in setting up insurance, shipbuilding, and they play a major role in the European slave trade.
95.5 FM on your FM dial. Late Night Talk Show every Wednesday from 10 till 12 a.m. I'm your girl Leticia, aka Leglelicious.
I'm your girl Miss Leesh.
And we are here with...
You should be able to say it by now.
You're supposed to say your own name.
I'm trouble. Khareem Jamal, that's me.
Why are you saying it so quietly? We're here with Khareem Jamal from the School of Africology.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is educating us on...
Is that one of your words?
Yeah. Well, no. It's not my actual word, but yeah, education.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about the Moors, weren't we, and their influence in Europe, which is huge and massive. Yeah. So, if we're talking about, and I'm just sort of taking you through a little journey up to 1492, when the last Moors were expelled from Spain.
1492,
What's wrong?
None.
Okay. Yeah, because that's an important year. Yeah. Africans are expelled from Spain. The only way you can stay in Spain is if you adopt the Catholic faith. Yeah. And become a proselyte. Conversion. Many of the Jews that stayed in Spain pretended to adopt the Catholic faith, but in secret they were still worshipping as Jews. In their own homes and everything, but those who didn't accept it were expelled, and most of them went to places like Holland and so on.
Sorry, caller 504. You need to call back because you spoke really fast, and before I got a chance to catch what you were saying, because I thought you was going to go live to say what it was that you were saying. So if you can call back, so we can or send a message, a text message. But this is Ontop FM 95.5 on the FM dial. We also got the Late Night Talk Show on Instagram, and we also have Ontop FM on Instagram as well. Sorry.
That's right. But you know, since you talk about Moors, actually, if you look at the coat of arms of most of the royal families in Europe, you'll see Moorish representation in them.
And there was a big thing recently as well with about the badge that the guy in Jamaica wears. The what was it? I can't remember what his name is, but basically he's got this this badge that he has to wear, where it's got like a white person with an angel thing, and he's got his foot on like a black person under his foot. Did you remember about that a couple of years ago?
Yeah, you're talking about the George.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the George man.
Months ago.
Yeah, I did see that.
And there was a big thing about that, and he was saying he's not going to wear it no more. But all of that also as well coming back too.
Yeah, he's my George Cross. We have to be one thing we have to be careful of is the information that we see, and whatever we see is to check out what we see, cross-reference it, and make sure it's
legit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing we have to get used to. I don't want, you know, we get this feel-good history sometimes that we think, you know, we like what it sounds like. Yeah. And so we believe it's true because we want to. And I understand that because obviously we've been starved of information for a long time. So when you get good news, you want to really reach out and say, yeah, this is it. So we have to be people should do is be very sort of empirical about their studies.
Empirical?
So cross-reference stuff. Cross-reference, always cross-reference.
What does empirical mean?
Well, it means that you're not taking things just,
at face value.
Well, yeah, not from one testimony. Yeah, so you're looking at this, you're comparing it with that, and then you think, and then by that method, you should be able to get to something that's consistent.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Oh, studio line number if you want to call is 079 955 055. That's 079 955 055. If you want to go live and ask any questions, or if you want to put a view across about something that you may be aware of. What number is on top? Oh yeah, 95.5 FM. Why are you laughing?
No, I thought you were having a conversation with yourself.
Oh, I do. Okay. So, what else can you tell us about the Moors? Because Moors is plays a big part, but it's a big part of our history as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, everything gets labelled Moor or Moorish.
Yeah.
And that there needs to be some understanding with that as well. The Romans called the part of northwest Africa that we know as Mauritania as a place where the indigenous Moors come from. Yeah, which is if you look over a part of Mauritania, you can look over Spain 13 kilometers away, or Gibraltar.
Oh, okay.
So you can see it on a clear day from there. So I mean, Africans have been going across there from time immemorial, always. So even though we're talking about the Moorish invasion of Spain, I mean, they had been doing that anyway, because Hannibal, the Carthaginians, had always made that journey before anyway. They'd already conquered parts of Spain, creating cities like Carthago Nova and so on and so forth. So that's not a new journey for us. It's not a new exchange. We've always been going across from Northwest Africa, very Northwest Africa, into Spain and into Europe.
It's interesting when you say certain things though, because you say it as if to say we already know it. So like when you mentioned the names of the countries, you said and so forth, like like you're saying Brixton and Clapham, like Brixton, Clapham, South London, innit? And a lot of them names aren't the names that they are today.
Well, that's a very good point. That's a good point you make. And
like the whole of African countries has more or less been given a whole change of name and everything.
Not just Africa, Europe as well.
Well, Europe, yeah.
The world, if you like. Because a lot of countries that we see today established, we look at a map or an atlas, and people think that those countries have always been called those names.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much, pretty modern manifestations, most of them. So that's one thing that people should do. Look at old maps.
Yeah, because I remember, I don't know what country I went to, but on my travels, I got this map, and it shows, it's like a different map completely from what the map is that we see today. Shows you it in a different way. I bought it as a postcard. But as the lady was saying in terms of talking about the different parishes in the different countries, so like where I was saying, because I'm British, but my parents are from Jamaica, and when you go to Jamaica, like she was saying, Manchester, and all of these countries that have these names that don't represent who they stand for. Like even in Jamaica when they got Spanish Town and all that, and then, you know, like she said, Manchester. But enough of these countries you go there. When I went to Bahamas, when I went to Caymans, they've all got English type representation country names and stuff.
Well, I will tell you who conquered it.
Who conquered it, innit? So they
They're
left their
home
mark.
from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so New York. Right. So it's York, right? It's New York. York is where's
I
York?
didn't ever think about that.
Yeah, it's in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter wherever you go, anywhere the empire is, we're going to recreate home from home.
Interesting. I never even thought of
New
New
York.
York being part of York. As in, but York here is in Yorkshire. Well, it's kind of crap, but maybe
No,
not.
York is a
No, it's not
important
crap.
city.
It's not that it's crap, but it's I'm not going to Yorkshire.
This means it's small.
No, I hate that. But again, that York is a place where a lot of black people used to live in ancient times. You know, the Roman Emperor Septimius Severus lived
That's
there.
why they've
Oh,
made
is
it.
it?
Why it's the way it is,
See, I
though,
didn't
as
know
well.
Why is it?
Because it's not very.
It's just quiet down.
It's quite a bit, but it's not. I don't. From what I understand, it's not very affluent, is it? It's,
What's it?
I don't know. It's not like.
What are you talking about?
Like Yorkshire. It's not.
Yeah, I understand your shortcomings about it. I mean, I wouldn't go and live there.
Yeah.
But lots of
it's-
black people do.
Like if you what now?
Yeah.
They live there.
Make it sound like it's barren or something.
No, but to be, I don't know. I can't say I don't know much people from Yorkshire.
Well, you got places like Leeds and places like
Yeah,
Huddersfield,
Leeds. Yeah,
Sheffield.
Leeds. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, my cousin lives in Sheffield, but I just feel, how did you reach down there, cousin? Like, how did you?
Or
Reach?
up there even, yeah.
Yeah, all up there. Like,
I know what you mean. I'm glad I'm not up there. No, I get you, but you know, don't be surprised. These are places that we've been living for a long time. Yeah. A long time. Long before Windrush.
so when you just talking about Yorkshire, then tell us more about that then, in terms of black people in Yorkshire.
Well, I mean, in
Because you can get Yorkshire tea.
well, that's something that really amazed me when I used to hear Yorkshire tea. I'm thinking, well, where does tea grow in Yorkshire?
Oh, don't it grow in Yorkshire?
No, tea.
Oh, it's
In
important. Yeah, but it's fields, isn't it? They might have Greenland up
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Up there's
it's-
bush. Listen, everything that's not south is in the bush to me. Yeah, so it could be.
Oh, my
You
God.
Could be
talk
north.
about you didn't know tea couldn't grow in Yorkshire. I
Come on.
didn't even actually think of tea growing, but it's tea leaves.
No.
I didn't ever. I
No.
didn't ever.
What time is the ad break? Because you
No,
did
I'm
not
being
just
honest.
do that. So what do you think tea was made from?
Obviously, I know it's tea
Sugar and
leaves.
spice and all things nice?
No,
Yeah,
no,
you
but I
just
know
said
it's
tea
tea
grow in
leaves.
Yorkshire, but tea doesn't grow in
Yeah,
Yorkshire.
but I didn't
No.
actually think of it growing off a tree because it's tea leaves. I never
understand what
associated
you
it.
mean,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
No, but when I'm saying that, it's about having fields, isn't it? So all them places up there has got pear Greenland. I
But
would
they
have
ain't got the
thought.
climate for it.
Huh?
The climate
No,
for
well,
it.
yeah, there is that too. But farmers farm
Very
in it,
importantly.
and they do their stuff to make farms
But them
grow.
kind of areas like flood and stuff, don't they?
Me don't know, sir. Me don't know about them. The place there.
There's no tea that grows.
I
in
ain't trying to
Yorkshire.
go there. Like I'm not trying to go there because it's not. From what I know of it, it's not the place that I'd want to visit. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't mind going to visit Cornwall because I've seen stuff that make me feel like I want to go check out Cornwall or Devon or the Lake District or Cotswolds. But then maybe those are the popular places that I'm hearing of. So that's maybe why I want to exit myself and go there. But I'm not hearing nothing in Yorkshire to make me think, right, let me go check out Yorkshire. But now you tell me about,
The Yorkshire Ripper.
oh Lord, what am I going to go there for? That's like going
Oh,
into
my
London
God.
Bridge to go check out Jack the Ripper.
You guys are too funny.
I'm just
That'd be
associating
really-
it with something.
York has got a lot of history, especially. I mean, and don't forget, a lot of the black legions that served in the Roman army were stationed in the north, in places like York. And as I said to you before, the Black Emperor of Rome, Septimius Severus, his sons Caracalla and Gaeta, all lived there, and his whole family.
So maybe you do want to go to York.
Okay, when we going? We could do a little tour trip, innit? With our camper van and go. But that's too far. We're going to have to buy a camper van because the amount of money it's going to cost for the miles. It'll be a lot. We wouldn't even reach nowhere. We wouldn't even reach out at Tottenham.
So, we were talking about the place names, yeah?
Yeah, the place names in the different countries and different
So the basic
Caribbean
reason
islands.
you find these names in foreign places which don't belong there
Yeah.
is because the people who named the place conquered those places and they want to create their home.
Home from home.
Exactly.
So then would you say that these countries, now that they've not got their independence, have no notion of changing the names back to what it should be or to make it more coherent towards them and their culture and their population?
That's a good question, actually. And so the question is the will there to do that? Do they want to do that? Are they focused on that? Are they conscious of that?
What the
Do they
benefits
see
for
a
them
need
for that
for
as
that?
well?
Yeah.
But can I say something? What would be an indigenous name to a
Good
Jamaican?
question.
Yeah, to a Jamaican town or city.
Well, especially when they don't recognise where they come from as well, in that sense of like the history and the whole thing where being brought to a place and that place was made because of ABC. You know, so I guess, you know, and we'd have like Caribbeans and Africans have this I'm not African, I'm not Caribbean. It's like, you know, we're arguing over.
Is that still prevalent? You think, or is that
Yes.
more?
Yeah, to an extent.
It is definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who did I say something to the other day?
Yeah, but then you have African.
But you know, it's
African
funny.
countries that do the same thing.
No, but do you know what? Even in the other countries, they do it. Because my neighbour's Vietnamese, yeah, and I went to get some acupuncture, right, and they was writing some stuff down. So I took a picture of what he wrote down, yeah, and said, "Wow, let me ask my neighbour, yeah." So I said, my mum was like, I said, but I don't know if the people was actually Chinese or not, to be fair. My neighbour's Vietnamese. I know that they're Vietnamese, but the people I went to the acupuncture, they're Chinese, isn't it? So I said to my neighbour, I said, oh. No, it's not that I thought it was the same, but I said to him, yeah, I said, oh yeah, so it's the writing the same. He said, no, our numbers. He was like, no. I said, so what are you saying no like that for? Yeah, go on, somewhere, June. He was like, no. I was like, calm down, take it easy. But, you know, it's...
But it's
the same like saying...
Someone coming to you and saying you're from Birmingham and you're from London.
No, but that's not the same because remember, I am partly from Birmingham in the sense of half my family come from Birmingham.
But that's fine, but I wouldn't want to be called saying I'm from Birmingham. I'm not from Birmingham, I'm from London.
Yeah, but you are from London, though.
Yeah,
so...
but I'm London. That's my point, though. You can't tell a Londoner they're from... All right, since you want to be
you're not from any
No,
of those
but what
places.
you're talking about is someone from Barbados saying that I'm from Jamaica, and then that's what you're talking about from that perspective. Because Vietnam and China is the same, isn't it? It's like a different, like, it's like Jamaica and Barbados, Vietnam and China, innit?
Those are different people, darling.
No, I know they're different people, but I'm saying the concept of the connection of the countries. So Barbados is its own country and Jamaica is its own country. If someone called me Bayesian, I'd be like, I'm not Bayesian though. I'm Jamaican, just the same way.
But those are just nationalities, you see. And the difference between nationality and ethnicity.
Yes, that's true. And
you could have several nationalities in your lifetime. Depending on where you choose to live. So you're in Britain now, you're British. Here's a passport. You go to America, you settle down there, you get your green card, now you're American, here's your passport. 10 years later on, you think, I'm going to move to Sweden. Yeah, you go and settle down in Sweden, you qualify there for nationality. You get a passport. That's 3 nationalities you've had. So a nationality cannot identify you. Yes. If I read about you in the future, and I never knew you, 50 years from now, and they say, what's your name again? Leticia. British. Leticia. Blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking, what's my concept of British? I'm thinking of I may even think she's white.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got enough information to go by to see British, which is the nationality. It doesn't tell me who you really are. It doesn't tell me where your parents come from. Or where, and where their parents come from.
Yeah.
And who you really are. So nationality can never represent you. And it's only an honor conferred upon you. When I say honor, a privilege conferred upon you, which can be taken away.
Yeah.
As we see with the whole Windrush stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, people, I'm British. And then all of a sudden you find yourself back in the Caribbean. That's how British you are. So they chuck you up. So those things are privileges conferred. When something's conferred on you, that means it's given to you. Yeah, and anybody give you something can take it back. But your identity is what you are. No one can take that from you. But nationality can be.
Okay, so in layman's terms, that means Barbadians that's their nationality.
That was layman's. Yeah, that's not. But look, think about it this way. Let's see these bottles out here. All these implements on.
No, I get you.
Islands. And let's say over there is Africa. And there's 3 slave ships. 3 ships with enslaved Africans on it. Yeah, and they sail into this territory. One goes there, and they all came from the same place. One goes over there, one goes here, and one goes here. This island's called Barbados. This one's called Jamaica. This one's called Cuba. Over time, even though we came from the same place, we're going to develop different accents. We're going to start developing different versions of the same food we used to eat. So the different variations on the same things. After a while, and I'm glad you mentioned this, we start to be so prideful of the island we're on. I'm Jamaican, you're Barbadian, as if there's something, but you came from the same place. All that happened is your slave ship went left, mine went right, and yours went in the center. But all of a sudden now you created these new identities now. So there's separation where there should be unity.
Yeah.
And we're focused on stupid accents and the way you cook curry, and the way you make roti.
Or how you grow pumpkin.
And all this kind of nonsense. Yeah.
I guess part of a majority of that is about, though, also not knowing the history and understanding of where we're coming from. Because a lot of our history, we have to dig for it. It's not that it's just there in your face for us to know that this is, this is that. So even now when you're watching these programs now, because when I watched some of these programs, I think I saw a piece of, was it Enslaved? And they got these books, and they're showing you the people and the names of the different people that came. One was 7, Johnny, not Johnny, but Johnny 7, and they've got a description of where they've come from, and these books are still intact. And then
the ship book.
Yeah, the ship book.
And
how much he was, manifest and how much he was sold for. And then even when that made me cry a couple of years ago, they got this one, not that book, the other book, not the book. They got this wall monument in what countries, and it's got all of the names of the people them. And I said, look at that in some kind of museum. And I said, Uno is a wicked. What? Because if you've got that evidence there, that means, oh man.
Well, can you?
That's a lot of evidence, and they still don't want to say that they.
Why wouldn't they? Listen, you must remember is what they do. They do keep records of their wickedness. Yeah. Not because it's wickedness, but because they're record keepers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They record everything. So I can show you. I can take you to the website now. We'll show you slave ships, the name of the slave ship, where it came from.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah? Who was on board, the names of the people on board. Now,
that's what I'm saying.
I can show you. Yeah.
But listen. You can tell us about that on the way back. Because right now we're going to the ad break. So you've got 5 minutes to go and get a drink, use the toilet, have a comfort break, get yourself ready for part 2. The rest of the part. Just hold on. Yeah, guys, so we're going to end the videos and we're going to come back in 5 minutes to get yourself ready. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you want to quickly share it or share it when you come back on, we'll continue with the topic with Khareem Jamal from the School of Africology.
Wow.
Hey, I know your name.
Go, girl.
Hey.
Get it right.
You can go Africology as well,